On the world news tonight from Babagide Imo Television, the headlines. FG increases salaries of tertiary institution staff by 35%. Prepared to provide Nigerians with consumer credit, Tinubu tells UBA. Troops bust gun manufacturing syndicate in Kaduna. Nigeria needs mobile law against cultist intimidation. Sports. Pesero get January 3rd deadline to submit Super Eagles lineup. I am Morive Rabila Lawal. The news in detail. The President Bola Tinubu administration has approved the implementation of 35% and 23% of salary increment of staff of the federal tertiary institutions. Also, the FG will pay arrears from 1st January 2023. This is contained in a letter from the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. The memo dated September 24, 2023 was directed to the Directors of Audit, Head of Departments, Head of Units. The salary review affects academic and non-academic staff of the Federal Polytechnics and Colleges of Education. I am directed to inform you that the Presidential Committee on Salaries at its 13th meeting having taken into consideration the different stages of collective bargaining in various sectors and specifically engagement between the Federal Ministry of Education and tertiary institutions-based unions, and consequently the federal government's approval is hereby conveyed as revised for the following: consolidated polytechnics and colleges of education's salary structure for academic staff of polytechnics and federal and colleges of education with effect from 1st January 2023. Part of the letter reads. To the next story. The President, Bola Tinubu, has insisted on resetting the Nigeria credit system to ensure that cheap credits are made available to help Nigerian workers drive their dream cars and get cheap mortgages. Tinubu also hinted that a robust credit environment is a tool that would aid his anti-corruption fight in the public service. Tinubu revealed a plan in an interaction with Board Chairman Abdul Saad Rabiu, Tony Elumelu, the chairman of AS Holdings, and other top foreign and local industrialists in the country at the sideline of the United Nations General Assembly in New York. Tinubu said in a video clip seen, the other one that is coming that is purely anti-corruption is consumer credit. How do you expect an applicant to walk into an auto shop and pay cash for everything for a brand new Mercedes-Benz without thinking of manipulating the system? But if we set up a good system for a huge amount of deposit from his or her salary, and she can drive away a good car, then you won't look at manipulating your books. In May, when the President read its inauguration speech, he said that monetary policy needs thorough house cleaning and called for cheap consumer credit. Interest rates need to be reduced to increase investment and consumer purchasing in ways that sustain the economy at a higher level, Tinubu had said on May 29. The founder and registrar of the National Institute of Credit Administration, Professor Chris Onalo, had also stressed the importance of a credit economy. No economy grows without the use of credit, and there is no example of any advanced society where credit is not in use. This is why your administration is taking these deliberate steps towards ensuring an enduring credit system within our economy to be managed by reputable credit professionals. We believe that a credit economy is capable of providing equal growth and participatory opportunities to all members of the society, Onalo had said. Troops on Operation Akron Daimisa have uncovered a gun manufacturing factory in Kaduna, Kafanchan, local government area of Kaduna State. The Nigerian Army, in a statement, said the discovery followed a week-long intelligence operation that finally led to the capture of a wanted gun runner, Napoleon John, who has been on the wanted list of OPSH. The suspect who confessed to the crime led troops to a concealed factory where arms of different caliber were sold by one Monday Dunia. When quizzed, Dunia confessed to having been in the business for more than 5 years, fueling the crisis in Kaduna and neighboring Plateau states. A thorough search of the factory led to the recovery of 22 different weapons, which included 7 pistols, 2 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 2 military-grade AK-47 rifles, and 9 revolvers. Others include 1 submachine gun, rounds of 7.62 mm special ammunition, machine tools, and a gas cylinder. Meanwhile, the troops raided another hideout in Adua, one village in Kafanchan. The troops recovered additional 2X AK-47 rifles, 2X revolver rifles, live rounds of 9mm and 7.62 ammunition, 6X Generals dangerous daggers, 1X Akar axe, several empty cases of 7.62mm special rounds, 2 mobile phones, and 1 fragmental jacket. Also recovered are 2 police uniforms, 1 military camouflage trousers, 1 ammunition magazine carrier, 1 pistol holster, 1 military-grade camel pouch, 1 police combat helmet, 2 masks, 4 identity cards, gunpowder, sharpness, charms, and amulets. While commending troops for their doggedness and resilience, the GOC commander, OPSH, also vowed to ensure all fleeing syndicates members were arrested and made to face the full wrath of the law. He warned sponsors and perpetrators of criminalities to immediately abandon their evil ways and embrace lawful means of livelihood. General A.E. Albukar also thanked the general public for their unwavering support in the fight against criminality and urged them not to relent in furnishing the troops with actionable information. He further assured to treat information provided with utmost secrecy and confidentiality. Moving on to the next story. Nigeria needs mobile law against cultist intimidation, Seun Kuti tells FG. Popular Nigerian musician and the youngest son of the Afrobeat pioneer Fela Anikulapo Kuti has called for a law against intimidation by cultists. He made the call following the death of singer Ilerioluwa Aloba, aka Mobile, whose demise has sparked speculations of cult-like affiliation and activities in the entertainment industry. While reacting to the circumstances surrounding Mobile's death on his Instagram page, he opined that Mobile's death was cult-associated, adding that the menace had long been in existence and is core to the naming generation. He claimed that cultism has hidden deep into the Nigerian system such that law enforcement agents and other self-acclaimed law-abiding citizens are not exempted from affiliation with cult groups. He added that his personal experience while in detention was a testament to his claim, stating that quite a number of officers declared their affiliations to him, reckoning that he was also one of them. According to him, when I was locked up, numerous police officers and their olgas told me their different cultist affiliation, thinking I was one of them, so they could help me. Even the police are cultists. Now you are asking cultists to investigate cultists. However, they charge lawmakers to take immediate action by making stringent laws against cultism and cultist intimidation, noting that if not adequately tackled, an avalanche of cultists would erode the future generations. A nation of cowards will need a mobile law against cultist intimidation in all our institutions. Anything short of that is nothing. The National Assembly must do this monumental work to protect future generations from this scourge. Hashtag mobile law, he said. Moving on to Delta. One pastor, Alex Tertiary, has reportedly killed a lady in Agbat Auto community, Ugeli North local government area of Delta State. The remains of the victim were discovered in the pastor's house. The cleric did the act with the girl in a machete land. Details as to why he did the act were still sketchy as of the time of filing this report. At the moment, angry youth in the community have come out to avenge the death of the girl. They were on the verge of lynching the cleric but for the timely intervention of the police. A human rights activist, Comrade Israel Joel, is demanding justice for the girl. He called on Delta State Commissioner of Police CP Wale Abbas to immediately investigate and prosecute the suspect in line with the laws of the land. Moving on to Oyo State. The police command in Oyo State on Friday in Ibadan paraded before Newsman 33 suspect accused of various offenses such as involvement in armed robbery, impersonation, and car snatching. The suspects, from whom were recovered 7 cars and other dangerous weapons, were paraded at the command's headquarters by its public relations officer, PPROSP Adewale Oshifeso. Oshifeso, who represented at the event Commissioner of Police Adebola Anzat, said the suspects were arrested at different locations of the state. He listed other items recovered from them to include 6 guns, 4 motorcycles, 20 cows, a DAF trailer, 14 live sheep, and champs, among others. The PPRO said 8 of the suspects who have been terrorizing the people of Oyo Town and its environs invaded Oyagbade and Obana communities in September, 10 while armed with guns. The suspects were reported to have attacked their victims and possessed them of laptops and a huge sum of money. However, as soon as the hoodlums left the scene of crime, the victims contacted police operatives attached to the command monitoring unit who were on intelligence-based anti-crime patrol and equally raised an alarm which attracted their neighbors. Consequently, 3 of the armed robbers were apprehended within the community while the scene was also visited immediately. Upon interrogation, the suspect confessed to the crime and series of other robbery occasions, operations they had masterminded at different locations within Oyo Town and areas, Oshifeso said. The PPRO disclosed that further investigation led to arrest of 2 other fleeing suspects and 3 of the accomplices who usually receive stolen goods from them. From Oyo State to the foreign story. A United States District Judge, Nelson McDonald, has agreed to stay an order directing Chicago State University to make available the academic documents of President Bola Tinubu to the legal team of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. The hearing came up late Thursday night after the president's lawyer filed an emergency motion seeking a delay in the implementation of the self-effectuating order directing the CSU to comply with Atiku's subpoenas until Monday. Information reported that a magistrate, Jeffrey Gilbert, had on Tuesday ordered Tinubu's alma mater to provide all relevant and non-privileged documents to the applicant Atiku within 2 days. Documents sought by the People's Democratic Party candidate through his counsel, Angela Liu, include a record of admission and acceptance at the university, data of attendance including degrees, awards, and honors attained by the former governor of Lagos State at the university, among others. But the president's attorneys had argued that the earlier decision by Gilbert needed to be reviewed by a district judge. Speaking further, phone chats from his base in the United States, coordinator of Tinubu's presidential legal team, Babatunde Ogala, disclosed that what they sought was a review and not an appeal, as being peddled in the media. To further buttress his point, the senior advocate of Nigeria emphasized that the U.S. magistrate does not have the power to give an order given to the university to release non-privileged information, adding that he can only make a recommendation. And to end the world news, a sports story. Super Eagles head coach Jose Peseiro must forward his final 23-man squad for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations to the Confederation of African Football (CAF) latest January 3, 2024. CAF on Thursday directed all the 24 finalists to submit their final squads 10 days before the start of the competition. Peseiro and other coaches are also expected to submit a 55-man provisional squad before the end of the year. CAF released seedings for the 2024 AFCON finals on Thursday, with the Super Eagles placed in Pot 2. The development could see the 3-time African champions face older Senegal, Old Cote d'Ivoire, Algeria, Tunisia, and Egypt in the group stage. The draw ceremony is scheduled for Abidjan on Thursday, October 12. Cote d'Ivoire will host the competition from January 13 to February 11th. With that sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news from BGI Television. Before we go, some headlines. FG increases tertiary institution staff salary by 35%. Prepare to provide Nigerians with consumer credit, Tinubu tells UBA others. Troops bust gun manufacturing syndicate in Kaduna. Nigeria needs mobile law against cultist intimidation. On sports, Peseiro gets January 3rd to submit Super Eagles lineup list. For more updates of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Babagide Imo Television. Kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell, select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagide Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Prabila Lawal. Good evening.